Hi guys, so today I'll be trying out Spellbinders Betterpress and Wax Seal of the Month for January 2024. I did a whole unboxing of like the Deluxe Caboodle, so I'll link that video in the description box along with the links for the items. These items were sent free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own, and any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links, so thank you for doing that if you would like. Again, if you're going to be a new member, you can sign up at any time. I think there's a blackout period at the very end of the month, and if you are already a current member, your selection should have already either shipped or been charged and shipped or however, so on the 5th of the month if you were previously enrolled. So Poppy Greetings, it's a beautiful Betterpress plate. So we have this plate that's going to have an image that, will take up a pretty good card front. It's almost the whole 5.5 inches tall, and it's like 3.5, a little bit wider than that. I'm trying to get like point to point here. And then it has the thank you and best wishes that are separate, which I really love. So you can use those on, different cards, tags, however. Really, really pretty font on those. So we have that guy, and then the wax seal says made with love, and I believe it comes with this royal blue wax this month, so you have those guys. They're about an inch seal, but I think for today, with what I have planned for the flowers to color them in, I'm probably going to use one of these other sets. Again, some of their new colors. They have new mixes, and I already talked about those in a different video, so I'll link that video also. And maybe I'll use this one, maybe the fern. We'll see. A lot of these, they all coordinate. Actually, even this one, which I'm pretty much going to make the poppies like a reddish orange color. So I have brought those out because I will be using those. The Betterpress, of course, with the ink. I have some ink here ready to go for that. A couple other items, and then I'll use the sealed kit just so I can go ahead and make my seal off to the side, and then I'll add it to my project. A lot of times I'll just go for it. Maybe I'll just go for it. I don't know. Sometimes, I change my mind. So I did bring that out. Either way, I need my little burner and all that. A couple other new items that I didn't have in the previous video to show you guys. Well, this one I didn't have yet. It's the water brush set, and these are now available there on Spellbinders. And I believe, yes, so fine, medium, broad. I was like, what does B stand for? Bold? Broad. So I'll probably use at least 2 of these today because I want one to color in the poppy and then one to do some background work, so like the broad will probably be great for that, and then the fine to color in the poppy or the medium. So I do want to show you the water brushes. Just something new that they've been carrying? No, it's new. They just brought it out, so now they have them there. And again, let me show you broad compared to medium compared to fine. I usually always keep like a water brush loaded up that's probably medium, and it's always just ready to go because it generally doesn't bring back in the color that you're using, so you can just wipe it off, and that's kind of why I brought this guy out, and continue with other colors. You don't have to switch it out because, oh, I use red, now I'm going to do green, let me get a different brush. No, you can just keep working. So there's the fine, medium, and broad. Hopefully that gives you an idea. And then maybe the fine, maybe I can do medium today because I know the poppies have a nice big size to them. These guys, so they started carrying these not too long ago. I don't know if it's Ecologie or Ecologie or how you want to do that, but it's Swedish sponge cloth. What's really nice about these, and if I show you here, it says they're soft, absorbent when wet. You can scan that to get some more info. Maybe I'll put that there. Sustainable, eco-friendly, reusable, washable, compostable. So that's the difference with these guys. Once you've used them up and you start breaking them down, and you can actually put them in your compost. You can, yeah, they're just really great. So, or just toss them, but it's not going to be something that stays in the landfill forever, right? It'll break down. So 1 sponge cloth equals 7 paper towel rolls and 5 kitchen sponges. I'm assuming they mean like or. 70% cellulose, 30% cotton. So some great stuff. Machine wash, lay flat to dry. Just really, really awesome product here. So I have this one. I think they have 5 or 6 different designs. This is the one I'll be using today. So it says good morning sunshine, and I'm gonna leave it dry right now because I don't need it to be wet. I'm just gonna use my water brush to wipe off on there. So obviously it's gonna start getting some paint colors on it, but I'm not too concerned with that. So I'm going to use it just like this, but you can wet it and just squeeze it out and start using it for wiping things off, your stamps, your surface, whatever it is that you want to use these around the house. That doesn't have to be craft related. Super cute, but I will use it today. I do want to show you, it is 2, 4, 6, 8 inches by 2, 4, 6, almost 7. So 8 by almost 7, okay? So we have that. And then I'm going to use some watercolor paper. I think I just had this scrap that I thought, you know, I could probably just use that maybe on this side here. I was thinking about maybe making a tag. So, you know, it can definitely be a card front. I think for a tag it'd be really lovely. I like the size of this. And some of it will be cut off, and that's okay. So what I'm going to do is just bring out the things I need, my Betterpress and stuff like that, and we'll get started. We'll do this first. Obviously we'll color and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be right back. So first I'll get this Betterpressed, and then we'll go from there. These guys, or this guy, and put this here. I'll probably have that there, so I'm gonna cut this excess bit off, just something like that. And that would be there. Oh, it almost takes up the whole thing. Now I'm going to cut this with like a tag die, so I'm going to remove some of that anyhow, but I just want to place it for now. And let's see. Just want to have an idea about where that is. Like I said, I'm going to trim a lot of that away, so I'm just going to place this regardless. Wherever that ends up being is fine. Oh, pretty good. And just gonna use black today. Thought it'd be nice if you use like a dark green or green on the stem area. And you can also come in and kind of just hit what you want with the color, you know. So like maybe black around the flowers, but like green in here and just on the little stems. Or dark brown or just whatever. Excuse me. Okay. So this here, and again, what's nice about the Betterpress is it doesn't really touch until you actually squeeze it down. Now, saying that, I did use like a scrap kind of piece of paper, piece of watercolor paper, because we like to maximize our paper, use it up. I'm gonna stick that one down because I can see it's kind of moving. And just get this through the Platinum 6 or whatever machine you have that can take the Betterpress tool. And as I said, I always have the 3 shims underneath, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Get this guy going. Look at that, gorgeous, gorgeous, lovely. Under here, I always have these 3 shims. Okay, I'm gonna clean up and let that, I mean it's dry already, but just remove it from the plate and all that, and I'll be right back. So I have my little Betterpressed image there, really nice. I'm just gonna use some of these watercolors, you know, water-based markers, whatever it is that you like to use. I have this set, and it does have several different kind of reds in there, kind of some purpley reds, so I think I'll probably use this ladybug color and a little bit of some of darker like ink maybe for the very center of our flowers. And it's not going to require too many colors. Down here you can see the leaf does have some area you can color, and I think that's probably the only area that might be green. Maybe there's a little, no, I think that's a petal. So yeah, so we have that. I'm going to go and put some water in these guys. So like I said, probably the medium and the bold one, or broad. And all you do with these guys, you know, obviously when you give it a squish, the water comes up this little barrel. But what you're going to do is just unscrew down here. Just pour some water in from your faucet and screw it back on. Okay, so I'll do that for these 2. Completely up to you as everything is. Do you want to cut it out first if you're using a tag die, like I'm going to use a tag die today, or do you want to color first then cut it out? You know, I'm going to have to make sure it's really nice and dry before I run it through to do the die cutting for a tag shape. So, you know, just whatever it is that you think you should do that. Cut it first, you know, then color, however. So this is the medium. And you just want to get the water going. And you can also wet your surface if you like to work like wet on wet, or just dry and then wet. The water's already coming out, and you don't need that much. But let's go for Ladybug. And with something like this, super simple, I always start like in the center of the petal, or the base, center of the flower, base of the petal, should I say, and then bring the color out. That way it's more concentrated there, and as you pull the color out, it's less concentrated, and it just gives it an effect of shading, even though you didn't really do any of that, right? So let's do that. I'll grab a little more, go back in here. And if you want to leave a little bit white, that always looks nice, so it's not just all colored in. I don't know, gives it a little bit of an artsier look. This guy, I'm just trying to see what's going on with this petal. Maybe up there a little bit. This petal looks like it's kind of turned this way. And then just in here. And I don't want too much more of the red paint, so I'm going to kind of dab that off and give it a squeeze, get some water going, and then pull some of that color through. And again, my watercolor paper is dry, so it just has a different effect. And I'll basically do the petals just like that, okay? And right now I would do everything that's red and then come back in, but I wanted to show you that the same little guy here can do the work, is just kind of wipe it off a little bit. I'm squeezing the water just a little bit. So just give it a squeeze, and then if I go in and grab like this ink color and get some of that in the center here, it's kind of a blue-black color. Just kind of fill that in, and just again squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. It pretty much wipes or washes away, and then go back into your red. I would definitely though like stick to the one color, then come back and do the other. So with this little guy, like this little bud right there, clean some of that off. And maybe I'll go to there and here, bring a little more back, things like that. Okay, so I'll color them in, and just a little green on this little leaf, and that's it. I'll be back. Drying that off. I'm not really drying it off, but just wiping off the color. And usually I just store these sitting up like this, like if you have a pencil holder, cup holder, however. Cup holder? Well, yeah, something. Anyway, I leave them just like that. They generally don't leak, but I think it's just better to keep them upright. And then this is the broad one, and I'll just get the water going. It might be stiff at the beginning, see how it's not flexing, but once you get water going through it, it should just break up that whatever's on there, some kind of something that's keeping it in that shape. And I suppose I can take, ooh, both these colors are pretty. How about this guy? And you can still treat it like a water brush, like you would when you kind of put some down, maybe pour some water, squeezing water out on there to thin it out a little bit. And I'm just gonna go around this whole kind of thing. And that just gives a little more texture. You don't have to do that. My son just arrived and was singing his heart out as he walked in. Anyway, alright. And I mean, as dark or as light as you would like, wherever you want to put that in. Again, it doesn't have to be, you know, I mean, you can put it everywhere if you would want. Whatever, however much detail you think you want to add. So I'm just going to go around and just do that. Literally around the whole thing. And I'm just using it kind of sideways, so that it just really puts down color. If you're using the very tip, that's going to give you a different effect. So I'm just kind of the whole side. And you know, you can work wet on dry. you can let this dry and add another layer of color. It'll just make it stronger, you know, so there's lots of fun ways to work with watercolor and watercolor-based or water-based markers, much to the same effect. Ooh, see, I just pulled out some of that red, which is not what I was going for, so what I'm going to do is wipe that down, and I'm going to get a piece of paper towel, pick that up, kind of clean that up a little bit, and then I'm going to try to just make it blue again. So let's get rid of this, maybe add a little more water. So my flower was still wet, so again, like I was talking about wet on wet, those kinds of things. You can definitely reconstitute the color, you can pull it out. Let's see if that's going to be okay. I mean, it's part of the artwork, but it's not something I was going for, so I do want to kind of cover that up as much as I can. And something like that. And you can see that's going to be darker in that area than some other areas, and that's okay. All right, I love the way that looks already, so I'm just going to leave that alone. And let's go ahead and wipe that down. That guy's done. I'm going to hit this with a heat tool because I got to move on, so I'm just going to try and dry this, and we'll die cut it in the next clip here. I want to say whenever I dry things like this, because it does take on a lot of water, I hit the front, you know, obviously get that really nice and dry, and then I always turn it over and hit the back side too, because that'll kind of flatten it out for you. And then also when you put it in the die cutting system, it'll flatten it out more. Okay, but that's just what I like to do, kind of front, back, until it's as dry as I think it needs to be. Okay, and I'm just gonna run through with, you know, a tag die from my stash, and I'm gonna cut that maybe here, you know, just choose where. Oh, that's cute. Maybe this one. That way it'll have more of these little buds, and that's okay. Yeah, so I'm just gonna cut like in here, and I'll run that through, and I'll be right back. You can still, you know, put this on top of a card or however, or just use it as a tag, little gift tag is what I was going for today. So I'll put that away. I do want to go ahead and rinse this guy out just to show you what this looks like when it's all wet. So I'm going to clean up a little bit. I'm going to rinse this under sink water, you know, and I'll be right back. Real quick, I want to show you that. I just rinsed it under the sink, and it feels so good when it's full of water. I just kind of give it a squeeze. Wasn't really focusing on washing the ink or the paint out, but there you go. And of course, it's good for literally everything. So I will clean my mat off, let it dry, and then we'll move on with our project. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our wax seal. Funny enough, actually, you know what? We'll just go right on here. Why not? With the blue that I use in the background, the blue from this month will definitely look really nice with it, but I just wanted something to kind of contrast. Should I use the mix? Should I use the fern? Or this guy? That's funny. Now that I have it, I'm like, maybe I should go back with the blue. Let's do it. Let's use the blue. Why not? So we'll stick to this month, and I'll come back with some tutorials on the other guys later. So about 4 is what I like to use, 4 or 5. And we're just gonna heat this guy up, and hopefully this fire that I have going in here will be okay. I do have some wax in here from before, so I'm going to do is turn this on, let that melt down, and then wipe it away. Although that probably would coordinate with the blue and the pink and everything, or the red that I have going. But I'm gonna let that warm up and then just wipe it away once it melts down, and then we'll put in our blue beads. I do have some Sharpies that I like to color with, so I'll probably use this to color the sentiment part of our wax seal so it really pops, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that melted pretty quick. I think when I was done talking, I just kind of went ahead and wiped it out, and it came out. It was just a thin coat of that wax on the handle and the spoon, should I say. So I'm gonna let that melt down, and I will, excuse me, so I was gonna say I'll be right back, but you know what, let's open this guy up. So let's go ahead and get that ready. He's ready to go. And with this one, since I am going right to, I mean, if you want to put it sideways or straight up and down or whatever you're going to do, just think about that. But it says made with love, the little heart over here, so it has to be something like this or like this. Again, since I'm going right to my project, I will choose that. If you're making them off to the side, then you're going to add it on. Then you can just, you know, stamp it any way and then put it on the right, you know, the way you would like. Yeah, so I'm going to go right to my project with it, but I'll be right back. Pretty melted down. You can kind of see a little bit of the edges of of each of the 4 that were there. I'm going to turn that out. And one in here somewhere-ish. So I'm just kind of directing my little circle how I would want that. Put that back on here, and then Made with Love, but I want it turned a little bit, so I'm going to turn it like this. And just let that sit, and I will be back. Oh, that's so cute. It's really bold. I love that. So you can see it there. Really nice. But what I'm going to do is take this guy, and again, sideways. You don't want to just use the tip because you can probably just poke into the wax where you don't want to. But just holding it sideways, you can just go over the lettering, and I'll be right back. And there is our tag. Again, this can go right on top of a card base if you would like, maybe an embossed background or something, some pretty paper. For whatever reason, I really want this to like contrast with something, so that's why I was going to use the other wax beads, but I think I'll just do the bow being something that's contrasting. So again, you can just tie it or just do that half loop thing where you pass it through and then just pass it back through, but I'm going to do a whole bow because I want this to be very noticeable. And that is it for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you for all your kind comments and for being here and everything. I really appreciate all your comments and your viewership. All right, guys, I will have images coming up. I'll have links in the description box, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.